Listen, don't confuse mediocrity with humility because they're not the same thing. Now, some people are offended by the term mediocrity, and that's because they don't understand what it means. The dictionary describes mediocrity as vulgar, common, ordinary, regular, and staying within the average. So being mediocre is basically behaving in an average way to achieve average results. That's when you're basically settling for what is possible instead of aiming for the best in the areas of your life that actually matter. You might say things like, oh, but on the salary they pay me, there's only so much you can do. Why don't you try to do your job a little better? Then you ask for a raise. Or you might say, no one gave me a step-by-step tutorial. No one taught me any different. This is the only way I know how to live my life. This is the only way I know how to do things. Teach yourself. Read books. Be humble enough to ask for people to help you when you need it. Volunteer to gain experience. It's actually astonishing how many people would rather stay in their comfort zone, provided by the mediocrity that they surround themselves with, than to force themselves to be better, to stay above average. Instead of living, they are content with existing. Stones exist. Clouds exist. Insects exist. Mosquitoes exist. Those who truly live are solely human beings that choose to escape mediocrity. Now, what is mediocrity? Don't confuse mediocrity with humility. Humility is a virtue. It's being modest. It's showing respect for the enormous possibilities and also for the enormous challenges ahead. You can start small, humble, and you can dream big, have big aspirations that lift you out of the culture of mediocrity. A mediocre person isn't humble. A mediocre person doesn't dream big. Don't confuse mediocrity with gratitude either. Gratitude is the satisfying acknowledgement of what you already have, who you already are, and the acceptance that other possibilities exist ahead. You can be grateful for the present moment and also strive to make the future even better. A mediocre person isn't grateful. A mediocre person loves to complain. When we talk about mediocrity, we speak about cowardice, of avoiding challenges, of choosing to stay in your comfort zone. Mediocrity is the refusal to seek growth. It's being scared of everything. It's the conformist and determinist mindset of saying, oh, there's no point because it's just the way I am. To say this is to assume that people never change, that they are static, and that there's no possibility of growth or learning. A mediocre person will also have difficulty in recognizing and appreciating the efforts and hard work that other people have put in order to achieve a certain level of mastery in a certain skill. Now, this is the attitude of a mediocre person. If you were to speak with a mediocre person about someone who's really good at something, you're like, wow, man, that guy, Tsepo, he's good at what he does. A mediocre person would rather be uncomfortable in this situation, right? So you were to speak to this person about someone who's exceptionally good at what they do, such as a great musician, an exceptional athlete, a brilliant scientist, someone who can speak about interesting subjects fluently in multiple languages. What's the reaction of the person who behaves in a mediocre way? They'll say to you, now listen, they'll explain and they say, it's all talent, it's all luck, that it's something they're born with, it's an innate attribute as predetermined as eye color. Oh, she plays so well, she's an Aquarius. Oh, she's a creative person. He's good at sports, he must have been born with fire in the belly. Or she has a talent for speaking foreign languages. Sis. I'm learning Chinese right now. Every single day I'm trying to put in the work. I'm trying to learn. I do not have no talent for no speaking foreign languages. It's all got to do with work. Why? because we escaped the culture of mediocrity. Don't confuse mediocrity with humility. However, there's no such thing as talent alone. There's dedication, interest, study. There is effort. There are dedicated hours to a deliberate cause. So, is mediocrity offensive? Well, if you seek excellence, then mediocrity should seem slightly offensive to you, and therefore you should refuse to make choices that keep you within mediocrity.